Now, while we don't actually want to install Active Directory domain services onto our file server, we do want to get it onto our second DC, number DC2 right here. For us to do that, remember this is a server core machine, we've got that two-step process to get ADDS first installed onto the machine and then to actually execute the promotion. The first step in the process is our old friend install Windows feature, which I need to use PowerShell in order to do that. Install Windows feature with the name of the feature we're interested in being AD domain services. If we go through this, this will install the ADDS domain bits onto this machine just like we did before. And then our next step is to use another command, which is install ADDS domain controller. This command will allow us to connect up this domain controller to our domain, domain name company.pri. Now, one curious thing about this, the process which we're going through this, remember that this machine DC2 is currently not in the domain. And so for us to be able to facilitate the installation of this as a domain controller and then to add it into the domain, we're going to have to go through a little extra step here involving some credentials that we will apply for the domain we're about to enter into. That process uses the credential parameter. And then we need to pipe in an actual credential, the usable credential here in at the command line, which we'll do by having PowerShell first resolve the results of a command get credential. This command get credential will allow me to get the credential for the company administrator account, if I can type it correctly, so that we can use that information in order to add this machine here into the domain. I'll go ahead and hit the OK button here and then punch in my credential. That's my password there. As well as the safe mode administrator password, which is our directory services restore mode password we entered in earlier on when we were working with the GUI. I'll punch that in twice to ensure I've got it correctly, and then choose A to go about configuring this as a domain controller. If everything goes well, as you can see here, we will go about adding this machine as a second domain controller here within our domain.